Do you love music and you really have this deep seated feeling that you're ready to get out there and you want to share what you create and what you make as a musician and an artist with others, but you just don't know how to take that first step? Is the fear of being embarrassed or just not knowing how to reach out or what to do? What's even the first step holding you back? Well, maybe it's time we had to think on that. Hey, everybody, and welcome to today's episode. And today we are just going to talk about 3 simple ways for you to start to get out there and start playing live music to remove all of those barricades, everything stopping you or holding you back from getting out there to make your first step to playing live music. There's a lot of us out there, for whatever reason, and it's really hard to explain, that as a musician or an artist, you have this drive, this want, this need. There's something deep within you where you need to be out and performing and playing music for others. I couldn't tell you for the life of me, and there's probably much smarter people that can go deeper into this, but it really exists, and it's hard. Either if you haven't done it for the first time, or if you've been away for a while and you've just been playing music on your own or doing other things, and taking that first step is really scary again because you're starting all over and you don't know what to do. So today we're going to go through 3 super easy ways to knock that out, get it done, and start playing live music. So the first way I want to talk about this, and it's one of the easiest ways, is go to a local open mic and play some music. That's really how a lot of great artists, great musicians, great, anything you want to insert there, anybody that got their start, anybody that you respect that plays an instrument or writes songs or anything like that, got their start doing this, going to a local a live open mic and playing music. And the thing with this is, maybe it's not your genre, maybe it's not your style, maybe it's not who you are, but that's okay. It's really the best way to really get out there and start dipping your toes in and getting the momentum moving in your direction. I don't care if you play death metal or, hardcore punk, whatever it may be. Pick a song that you can share with everybody, that you could, invest a little bit of your time and effort into, that would at least resonate with other people, other musicians. Grab an acoustic guitar or a piano, whatever you play as an instrument, and just work out that song. And even if you're none of those, maybe folk music, country music, songwriting, whatever that is right in your wheelhouse, and this needs to be your first time, just pick one song. And that's the way to get started. Make sure it's one song that you really want to dive deep into and just begin there. Let's go even a little bit deeper into that. How do you make this work with that one song? Well, my suggestion and my advice to you would be to take your one song and just start listening to it over and over again. Listen to it, forwards, backwards, whatever it takes. But start working on your vocals first and foremost. And what I mean by that is, as you're listening to the song, sing along. Start to memorize those lyrics. Start to be able to anticipate what the words are before they come out. Start to understand the intricacies that the song is, what makes up this song, why it drew to you in the first place, and really was something special to you. So if you're doing this, 40, 50 times, just singing along, listening, wake up in the morning, in the shower, listening to the song, singing along, at some point you're going to start to really understand the song. You're able to repeat the lyrics, sing along without any assistance and not looking at a sheet. That's the first step, and it's the hardest part. So the next thing to do is to work on the instrumentation. So like I said, either you're playing keyboard, piano, or guitar, work out the parts, play along with the song, play along with certain parts. If you're great at one part, focus on the other parts until they're at that level and you're really strong at all of the parts. And then be able to play the song, from the very beginning to the very end, and just play along. Now, the next step from here, a little bit more difficult, and that's learning to sing and play an instrument at the same time. If you haven't done this, you're going to dedicate a good amount of time to this. But just be able to, first play through the song and hum along. That's a great way, just because it starts to get your mind, you start to find these anchors in the song where, just before I play this chord, I know that's where the verse comes in. And you start to get these points where, and your body's and your mind start to come to this understanding of how this works. And you start to get that muscle memory built up of where I come in, where to start emphasizing things, all those kind of things. From there, we've got the song, the instrumentation down. We've got the vocals. We're singing them. At this point, you should be able to play the song 15 to 20 times, just from beginning to end. Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter if you mess up. You start at the beginning. You play it like you're playing in front of a live audience, 15, 20 times from the very beginning to the very end. And that's it. You're ready. At that point, you can start looking around and asking around for this open mic. So everywhere, doesn't matter where you live, you might have to drive a little bit, but there's always going to be an open mic somewhere near you. Most often they're at either, bars, breweries, coffee shops, all those kind of things. You can look up on Facebook, even if you just reach out and just type it in. Does anybody know where open mics are held? I highly recommend Facebook groups. If you go to whatever state you're in, whatever area you're in, look up the kind of music groups, the musician groups, all those kind of thing, and you can start asking around that way. Craigslist is a great place where you'll find they will list, open mics and that kind of thing. Definitely look there. A huge place to go is Instagram. Start looking at the musicians and the artists that you like or that you respect. You can go deeper in their feeds, see where they got their start. I guarantee you'll find some pictures of some open mics, or even restaurants, bars, coffee shops. Again, go there, see if there's open mics. But that's a great way. And if all of these fail, just reach out to some musicians or have worked with or have talked to before, and just ask them, hey, do you know where any open mics are? And they'll point you in the right direction. So that's the first easy way to get it done, way to get out there. I highly suggest trying that out. The next one I want to talk about, and this is number 2 on 3 ways to get out and start playing live music, is to join an established group. So the first one we told you with going to an open mic, that's going to be your easiest, just one song. Get out there, do that. And even let's just add a little bit to that. If you're uncomfortable with that, going to an open mic, make sure that if you figure out one and you're not ready to play, just go and watch 1 or 2 of them without participating. Support the artists, be friendly, maybe talk to 1 or 2 of them, figure out how the system works, how it works, get comfortable with that, and then go to your first one. Just want to make sure we add that in there. That's a great way to get your toes wet. But the second one here, join an established group. This one takes a little bit more work, and that's okay. If that's where, you're an advanced musician or artist, and at some point you want to be, leading your own group or out doing your own solo work, but you're not there yet, and you're not sure what that entails, and you don't want to just go out there and start grinding. Joining an established group is the best way to do it. And what you can do here is that you can skip so many of the big steps it takes to become an established band, to become a leading star artist that, everybody wants to see, and start drawing names and making good money off that. This is a way to kind of circumvent all of that and get around it. But it takes a little bit of sacrifice. And what I mean by that is, maybe you're an amazing artist on the piano, or just a virtuoso on the guitar, and you can play some of the best lead. You need to be doing this or that, but that's what we're not talking about that here. You got to find a way to get into a group that you can work with, that you can, be happy with the music that they're putting out there, and just find a way to be useful to them. So what that means is, if you need a rhythm guitarist in the background, be that guy, be that girl. Maybe they need some extras, in the background. Maybe you can do background vocals, or play mandolin or banjo, or something to add into those sounds. Another great way is if you find a band that's established and they're great and they just need a temporary either, bass player, that's something you can pick up. You're always going to know that if you can play any kind of stringed instrument, you can play bass pretty easily. Just learn the songs. Or maybe you do, you're a drummer and you can do, guitar, or drummer and you can play other instruments. You could just sit in and play drums for them while they find a permanent solution or a permanent member. all these kind of things give you the chance to go out, meet people, and start the hardest part of this, which is not the hardest, but probably the most important. Building that community, getting that network going, learning other people's names, shaking hands, getting your name out there. And when it comes to the time where you're ready to step out on your own or form your own group or your own backing group, you already know who to reach out to. You already know some great names. You've got some experience. All those things really, really pay off. And just because you took that sacrifice of just playing some rhythm guitar or just playing in the background or even just, playing as a lead guitar player in a group that I've done that myself for a couple of artists, where you just play lead for a country group. I'm not a country artist or a musician in any way, but I know the scales. I understand music. And just stepping in and doing those kind of things can really start to open up your doors, and you're really getting out there and getting your first feel for some live music. Like I said, it got the added bonuses of going around the harder steps of getting the network going and joining that community and learning names and shaking hands. So number 3, as we move on our list, is something that I just titled Become an Atmosphere. And what I'm saying by become an atmosphere is that a great way to get out there, and there's some people that I know that have done this and they've made good money and entire careers of doing this. Get out there and start playing, just in the background of whatever's going on in life. So we're talking about farmers markets here. We're talking about breweries, restaurants, anything that has music going on in the background, meet and greets, weddings, all those kind of things. I'm not saying go be the wedding band, but sometimes they have, the rehearsals or whatever it may be, and you could be in the background adding music as everybody's chatting and talking. And this can be a great way to get out and start playing music, start testing out your chops and all those kind of things, and testing your music on other people. Most of the time, this is instrument based because a lot of, in the background, they're not really looking for loud vocals or to be the center of attention. You're just there adding the atmosphere, hence become an atmosphere. And to do this, again, we'll go step by step, especially if you're a guitar player or anything that's could be amplified. This is great, where you can get a looper pedal. Just go do a little bit of research, check reverb.com, grab yourself a looper pedal and start working with that, where you can play a verse, a number of chords or a melody and improvise over the top of that, or, adding all these different components. Pedals have come so far and are so great with guitar that you can, and I've even said there's a great channel that just does it with harp, or they add guitar pedals to harp, or you can do great things with piano and keyboard to where you're just, building these layers and all those kind of things. And it lets you think about music in that way and write in that way, put songs together. You get really good about putting on a live show and extending songs because you need to fill out, 2-3 hours, and that kind of thing. But just start with a looper pedal, go that direction. And like I was saying, you got to fill 2-3 hours, whatever it may be they're asking of you. I would suggest just getting an hour of material, because with these you can recycle, reuse, because mostly there's people moving in and out of these situations. Those farmers markets, breweries, they're not going to be there for the full time usually. And even if they are, if you're doing improvisation over the top of these things, it's different every single time. You can change it up a little bit. The more you do this, the easier it gets, kind of thing. But just have an hour of material ready to go. A list of songs, a list of instrumentals you put together, and you become this atmosphere, and you start getting your name out there. And then you get a little more comfortable, especially if you're playing, like I said, the farmers markets and the breweries and the bars or wherever you may be doing this. Then you've got a leg up when you start to reach out, and I have a full set now, and I've already played for you this here, and it works great. Can I try my full set here during the main time? Can I come in on a Friday night or open for one of your groups? You've got that in, and you've already on your way to winning. So those are 3 super simple, easy ways to get your feet wet, get out there, start playing live music, remove those barriers and go get it done. I know it's tough, and I plan at some point to start adding in some more, some live footage of myself going out there and doing the same, preaching or doing what I preach, those kind of things. So we can start to show that. If you're interested in that kind of thing, make sure that you've subscribed. And if this helped you at all, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow and start to get our name out there. So again, Thank you, everybody. That was a great video to have with you. Great discussion. I hope to see you on the next one. But until then, bye.